Tim 20Man did an article of 5 storylines to watch before Detroit Lions training camp. You can go find it on DetroitLions.com to read it, but I'm going to talk about it because I think it's very intriguing. But before we get into the video, if you are not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers on LNU. Let's just go ahead and begin. The first storyline he was talking about is the second-year leaps from each of the rookies last year. And I really like this article because it really talks about what to make this team better. And the leaps that he's mentioning would be really important for the Detroit Lions for a positive way if it was to occur. So Penei Sewell, his second-year leap, he was pretty successful year one. But how is he going to jump from year one to year two? Sometimes you have sophomore slumps. Will he just get better because he's mainly practicing on the right side and getting flipped around and not starting on the left side? And then, all sorts of injuries that happened with Taylor Decker screwed up his development, I think, for the beginning of the year. So his push to year two, does he become a dominant player? That will be interesting to watch in training camp, how he excels from where the same time he was last year, this year. Same with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown started off slow for the season last year, and in training camp, you could see him fight. But how is he going to excel this time this year? Is he going to continue to be a dog? There's a lot more wide receivers on this team compared to last year. So in training camp, can he maintain that dog personality and continue to get in these scuffles and just get better all around with Jared Goff? Levi Onwuzurike, to me, is probably the most intriguing one because last year he was injured in training camp. Not a lot going on at all. So how does he change from last year to this year? I think that's going to be really important to watch. I think he may be the most important sophomore to pay attention to on this whole class from last year. Then he talks about the rookie watch. Well, right now, we got rookies that are injured. We got Jamison Williams, we knew it, but Joshua Pascal is not going to be practicing right off rip. That sucks, because you want to pay attention to what your rookies are doing. So right now, we just got to watch his injury and how he gets better. From that, that's the biggest thing. Aidan Hutchinson, does he continue to be a dominant in training camp that he was in OTAs and minicamp? Continue to grow? Is there another rookie that kind of stands out from the rest? A lot of people want to see Malcolm Rodriguez. A big battle is brewing there at the linebacker position. Can he jump in and make an impact in training camp right off rip? Can he do it right off the beginning? That's going to be extremely important. And last year we had undrafted rookies that made the team. Who else can make the team as an undrafted rookie? They're rookies as well. Can anyone make an impact for the Detroit Lions from a rookie standpoint? So that's going to be really intriguing if you ask me. Jared Goff's development from last year, the end of the season, coming into OTAs and training camp right now. So he did well at the end of the year. He started off slow and bad in 2021 season, but he finished strong. Can he continue to be strong in training camp? Can he get on the same page with Chark? Can he maintain a decent tempo for new Ben Johnson scheme and offense? This may be the most important storyline of all of training camp, is Jared Goff. We need him to get better each day and get on the same page with the new players and the new scheme. If the Lions are to be successful for this season, A lot of this is going to be on the shoulders of Jared Goff. Also, the development him with continues with Josh Reynolds, because that really changed the season is when we picked him up. Khalif Raymond as well. I know Khalif Raymond is, on the depth chart down a little bit, but at the same time, you want to see him continue to do what he was doing. Quintez Cephas as well. So for Jared Goff to get on the same page with these wide receivers, with TJ Hawkinson, with DeAndre Swift out of the backfield, really important for this to occur for quarterback Jared Goff. He knows it's a big season. Everybody knows it's a giant season. And what also hinges on this giant season from Jared Goff is the scheme change from Ben Johnson. When Anthony Lynn was here, the offense was sluggish and slow. Ben Johnson kind of switched it up with Dan Campbell. Halfway through the season, the offense did improve. Can they get this scheme down pat before week 1 of the regular season? That is really important because there's going to be new concepts thrown towards Jared Goff through the whole offense. Everyone's got to get to know this scheme, because if we're on the same page, you can start off the season strong and fast, and you understand the playbook, and you understand where to be, all of that. If it's slow, you don't start off fast, you start sluggish, and the season can start out with a couple losses and dummy down the playbook and everything. So it's really important to get down the scheme play. It's so important, it's ridiculous to think about how it needs to happen for us to start winning. It's adding on to a lot that was changed through last year. So it's not everything is new, but there's definitely new concepts. I think what does help is they are taking some plays from the 2018 Rams and from the Rams playbook that worked with Jared Goff. So he'll understand that. I'm sure Josh Reynolds as well, the players that was with him. But there's obviously new players, and everyone's got to get on the same page for this thing to work. That's how, a playbook works. That's how a whole scheme works, is everybody's got to get it together. If one person's off, it can really screw up everybody, and that's just something that occurs in football today. Talks about the offensive line play. On paper, this is a top 3 offensive line. You got Taylor Decker, you got Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Halapoulivaati Vaitai, Penei Sewell. One hell of an offensive line on paper. We've had injuries last year. Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, all sorts of issues on this offensive line. Can they come together? First off, stay healthy. Can they come together and be dominant? Can they protect Goff in training camp? Obviously, they're not going to hit him. He's wearing the red shirt, but still, you get to near it, and they call it a sack. The backups, are they going to continue this offensive line dominance? This whole offense may come down to the offensive line. If the offensive line is dominant, the run game can be very good and be successful, and the pass game can be very good and successful. If you give any quarterback time, they will pick you apart. This is the NFL. There is some talent at the quarterback position, and I'm telling you, you can make a quarterback look really, really good if you let him sit in the pocket. And you can make them look really bad if they got 2 seconds to throw the football. We've seen it a million times throughout being Lions fans. Matthew Stafford have no time. He looks horrible. I mean, that's just the way that it is. In the NFL, if you don't have an offensive line, you just go ahead and call that a day, because nothing good is going to come to getting smoked on the line of scrimmage there by the offensive line. The penalties as well, very curious to see if they get better, because they do have officials at training camp. We need to get better from a offensive line holding and false start. We have to get better there. There's no doubt about it. We have been absolutely bad from that for the past couple of years, and they're drive killers. Every single time it feels like if there's a holding or a false start, the drive just seems to stall every single time. And this offense does not need to stall this year. It needs to thrive. So we need to cut down on penalties in a big way. Taylor Decker, I'm watching you in training camp big time because you tend to do that quite a bit with the penalties. Please cut that out. The Lions can win more games with a lack of penalties, and pre-snap penalties are killer too, false starts. There's really absolutely no need for any of that for the Detroit Lions' sake. What are storylines you are paying attention to? Something that was not mentioned in this list. Maybe the backup quarterback battle, the linebacker battle. That's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. A lot of good stuff that's going to be happening in training camp, and I'm so happy that it is nearly here. Since it's nearly here, we can actually get to legitimate Detroit Lions news. With that said, make sure you hit that notification bell. We'll be live tomorrow on LNU. Talk about training camp because it's nearly here. Adios.